Hello, everybody. What's today? Tuesday. I had to actually think about that for a second. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about motivation. So one of the questions that I get asked quite frequently from people is, how do you stay so motivated? Or they'll say, I'm really jealous. I just can't seem to stick with it. I don't have the motivation. And they get really down on themselves because they don't have the motivation. But what I want to talk about is how motivation is kind of part of the process of when you already start to make the change. So the motivation is not typically there in the beginning, but it's something that kind of comes along with the journey. I'm just going to fix this a little bit. It's a little too low and I feel like I'm kind of looking down. There we go. That's better. So today I'm going to be giving you guys 6 tips on how I stay motivated to continue working out, to eat healthy, and just to live an all-around healthy, holistic lifestyle. Because obviously it's really challenging. There are so many temptations out there. Everywhere you look, food-wise is a temptation, or just the desire to, do something other than go to the gym. So I want to give you some of the tricks that I use that really help me stay motivated. And what I also really would love from you guys is to share how you stay motivated. So I don't want this to just be a conversation where I go on and on about the things that work for me. I want to hear from you ladies what works for you. So please be vocal and share with me and with everybody else the things that you use to help you be motivated. Or you could also share of what you're struggling with when it comes to motivation and what you really need some help with. And also, of course, feel free to chime in and ask questions. And if you are watching, guys, please give me a thumbs up or a heart or a like or something so that I know you're watching and I can kind of engage in the conversation with you. So I'm going to get started with tip number 1. The first tip when it comes to being motivated is knowledge. And obviously this is one of the most famous quotes of all time, and everybody and their mother has said it, and it's knowledge is power. And it couldn't be more true when it comes to your health and wellness. One of the things that I found, especially while being in school, that the more that I learned about why I was doing something or why it was important or why I wanted to eat something, the more whys that you can answer, the more likely that you're going to follow through. So if you hear a study, like you're listening to the radio and you hear somebody say, oh, they've just done a study and eating mushrooms can help reduce your risk of breast cancer. And you're thinking that's pretty cool. And it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. But when you really start doing, some research and starting to pay attention to these things, the more that you can learn about why you should be eating something, the more you're going to want to do it. So eating healthy, I always say to people is, they're like, I can't seem to eat healthy and I really struggle and it's hard with all the other food that's tempting. And the first thing I say is, you've got to first start doing your research. Because when I tried to be healthy, me learning all this stuff about nutrition, it was really hard because I didn't know why it was so important. So yes, I knew that a green smoothie was good for me, but it was kind of like arbitrary. It was, okay, yeah, it's good for me, but that would be it. Where now I know why each ingredient that goes into my green smoothie is important, and I know what benefits it has for my body. I know which ones are going to help balance my hormones. I know which ones are going to help with healthy fats. Things are going to keep me full. I know things are going to be good for my bones and all those things. So the more that you can learn, the more likely you are to stay motivated. And that doesn't mean that you have to go back to school to become a nutritionist that I did. There's so many ways to learn now, through podcasts, through books, through documentaries that are on Netflix and on other channels. Even now there's Audible, which is basically like a podcast, but it's any book that you want to read. You can now listen to it so that when you're out for your walk, you can be reading your book while out going for a walk. I think I have a few other ideas written down. So yeah, books, podcasts, and even cookbooks. So if you're interested in wanting to learn how to cook more, and you want to eat healthier, one of the best things that you could do is to go out and to buy a cookbook that focuses on healthy foods. So for example, let's say Oh She Glows, which is an amazing vegan cookbook that I swear by and that a ton of people swear by. And what's kind of cool about the book is she'll share stories and she'll talk about why eating these foods is important. So one, you can try the recipe and you can eat something nice and healthy, but then you're also kind of learning about why it's healthy and why you should be eating it. So for anybody that's feeling stuck, whether it's, with your workouts, like I said, or with your diet, knowledge is power, and it is the key to success. So if you're learning why these foods or why these workouts are important and what they're doing for you, it is going to have such a massive impact. And I can't stress that enough. So every day I try to learn something new. So I listen to a podcast, or typically actually it's podcasts, or I am doing a lot of reading. I've signed up for different newsletters so that I have things coming to my email that I can check, or even it could be something as simple as every week I'm going to learn about a new food. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you know that I do a lot of food fact posts. So I'll put up a picture of blueberries, and then I'll give you like 6 reasons of why you should eat those blueberries. And the more that you can learn about these foods, the more apt you are to want to include them into your diet. So I would say something simple like pick a food each week. So we'd say blueberries, find out why blueberries are amazing, find out all of their benefits, and then try them in a few different recipes and start incorporating that in, which is going to lead into point number 2. Point number 2 is practicing that knowledge. So what a lot of people do is they'll get really gung-ho and they'll go read a book on nutrition and they're really excited about it. And then about a week later, they kind of start to forget about it. And then all of a sudden it's like it never happened. So what you want to do when you take the time to read something or to listen to that podcast or go through that cookbook is to start now taking what you've learned and putting it into your everyday life. So like I was just saying before with the blueberries, incorporating it actually into your diet. So taking everything that you've learned and actually incorporating into your life is going to be the key to success. You might know how to do the perfect squat, but it doesn't matter if you're not doing the squat. So same thing with exercise and the same thing with food is you got to practice what you've learned, okay? Just because you know it that's not going to do anything for you. You need to take it and you need to use it and you need to apply it. It's just basically like when we were back in elementary school or in high school and your teacher says, okay, that's cool that you know it, but can you apply it? And can you explain how it works? It's just like, when you get in trouble in math class where you had to show your work. It's the same type of thing. You want to make sure that you're showing your work. So just because you know it doesn't mean that you're going to do it. So really, step 1 is knowledge. Step 2 is practicing that knowledge. Okay, so I see that there's 17 of you on here watching with me. So please, guys, give me a thumbs up, say hey, talk about the things that help keep you motivated, talk about where you're struggling with motivation. Like I said, I really want to have a conversation with you guys. It's a little boring when I'm just rambling on about what works for me. So please get vulnerable and share the things that make you a little nervous, the things that make you a little hesitant, and why you need help with motivation, or the things that work for you. Okay, guys? The more conversation we have, the better. Hello, Angela. Thank you for tuning in. Sherry, hi. Oh, my girl, Lori is watching. We've got Lisa. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for chiming in. Oh, my mom is on now. Hello, mother. Hello, Donna. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Weather definitely does help with motivation. I 100% agree with you with that. Ashley and I were actually having a conversation about that today, and I really struggle in the winter. I definitely get seasonal affective disorder, and I feel like a whole new person in the spring. That sunshine is amazing for me. Okay, so that's tip number 1 is learning the knowledge. Tip number 2 is then applying the knowledge that you've learned. Let's go on to tip number 3. So what I have for number 3 is setting goals. Now, setting goals can be a challenging task because sometimes we don't even know what our goals are. Sometimes we don't know how to set them, or if we set them, how to actually get to them. So I'm going to break it down for you guys to make goal setting a lot easier for you. If anyone's wondering, I am sipping on peppermint tea and collagen powder because I just finished my dinner and it's going to help me to digest my food and not be bloated. Anyways, so when you're setting a goal, you don't want to set a goal that's too big and too arbitrary. So you might say something like, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, that's a really big number and it's a great goal. But when you're here and you're wanting to get to here, it's a long journey. So you need to think, how am I going to get to that goal? And better yet, how am I going to break it down so that my goal seems manageable? So instead of saying, I want to lose 50 pounds, which is a great goal, you want to start to, reel it in and start small. So maybe your goal is, I want to lose 50 pounds in 1 year. And my goal is to lose, I guess, basically if you want to lose 50 pounds in a year, it'd be about a pound a week. Well, a pound a week doesn't sound nearly as daunting as 50 pounds in a year. And then you can think, okay, if I want to lose a pound a week, what do I need to do to lose that pound a week? Okay, well, I need to up my workouts. Right now, I'm not working out at all. Well, maybe if I do 3 30-minute workouts a week, and I start having smoothies in the morning for breakfast, and I have healthy dinners 4 nights a week, where before I was having no healthy dinners. right there, you're starting to make a plan and you're making that action plan that's going to get you to that goal. So your biggest friend when it comes to goals is writing it down. Make yourself accountable. So one of the things I love doing on Sunday night or Monday mornings is I love writing out my goals for the week. Sometimes I don't get through them all. Sometimes I probably should have set more. And the cool thing is you can always add. So I'll write my goals for the week. And then every day, and I'm not perfect at this, I want to say I do this every day, but of course there's times that I miss it. But I'll go through and I'll say, okay, am I on the right track to make these goals happen? And April, I just saw that you popped on. You are like the queen of motivation and of, blocking it out and writing out your goals and making sure that you're sticking to that action plan. So if you want to share with some of the girls, some of the stuff that you do to keep you motivated, that would be amazing. So again, yes, you want to break it down into smaller chunks. But then, okay, so you have your weekly goals, and then you have that goal for the end of the year for the 50 pounds. Well, maybe you should make sure that every 3 months you're going to do a big check-in. And you're going to say, okay, every 3 months I'm going to do my measurements, I'm going to get on the scale, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to reset my goals, and I'm going to reset my intentions, and maybe I didn't lose as much weight as I wanted to. So you kind of have to, at that point, reassess that goal. Now, what a lot of people would do is 3 months in, they'd say, I'm not even close to that 50 pounds, and they would give up. Instead of looking at all the small changes they made. So maybe they thought in 3 months they would already have lost 15 pounds, but they've only lost 10, and they're down on themselves about it. But what about the fact that you've just lost 10 pounds and how incredible that is? We set our expectations so high that when we don't meet them perfectly, we beat ourselves up. Where when you start these small little goals and every week you can accomplish a goal, you feel so satisfied and proud of yourself. And when you reach that goal, it keeps you motivated. So when you set an unrealistic goal that has no timeline or no real end, there's nothing that's going to keep you motivated. So breaking it down into weekly challenges is the best way to keep you motivated. I see a few comments coming in. Angela said, "Love writing goals, but I also share with close friends. I find when I tell people, they help me 110%." And that's actually going to be my next point. Is going to be talking about that. Hi, Christina. Thanks for tuning in. And then Ashley says, "I find putting myself out there on social media with my posting, i.e., healthy tips, wellness, it holds me accountable. Gotta walk the walk." 100%. So one of the things that we actually do on Royally Fit Online often is we'll say on like a Monday, okay, everybody, what are your goals for the week? And everybody will list, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals that they have. And once you've set it, you really do want to keep it, especially when you've said it out loud and you've said it to other people. You don't want to disappoint, and that's one of the big things with the challenge that we're running right now is one of the comments the girls made today was, she had a really bad headache. She was craving carbs. She just really wanted to give up. But knowing that she had all of these other women doing it with her kept her on track, which is going to lead me into point number 4. And that is your tribe. So one of the biggest things when it comes to motivation is to find like-minded people that want to do the things that you want to do. So if your friends maybe are not on the same journey as you, and when you talk about wanting to, read some self-love books and you want to do some of the woo-woo stuff and you're in a journey of self-love and being healthy and mindful and being the best version of you, sometimes the people we love the most pull away from that. One of the reasons could be that they have their own issues, their own insecurities, and when you're kind of down there with them, they feel that they're not alone. So don't necessarily get angry at your friends that don't support you. Come from a place of love and know, just like in that book that we did for the book club last week, The 4 Agreements, that whenever somebody's not giving you what you want from them back, it's not about you, it's about them. And they're just not at that part in their journey of life where they can maybe support you. So it doesn't mean they're not good friends, but it does mean that you should go out and try to find some like-minded people that can join your tribe. So for example, Royally Fit Online, it's a group of almost 400 women, many who have never met each other, that support each other every single day. So whether you join a new class, you join a group, whatever it is that you do, you got to find somebody that you can share this with. The more people that you have on board with you, the more success you're going to have. When you feel isolated and alone, it's not so fun. So if you can find a gym buddy, you can find somebody that wants to go for a walk with you in the morning, you find somebody that wants to maybe do some healthy meal prep with you and you guys swap recipes. Maybe you start your own little book club and you guys can talk about the stuff that you've learned. But finding women And people, it doesn't have to just be women, but people that support you makes all the difference in the world. And I can say that I've struggled with tribe, and it's still something that I struggle with. I've moved around a lot in the last 5 years, and it's hard. And one of the best things to ever happen to me was Royally Fit, because they support me so much. And it's funny because, I work for Royally Fit and I'm one of the faces of Royally Fit. So people think that I always have the answer, that I always have it together, but I get just as much from the women as they get from me. It's a give and it's a take relationship. And you got to try to find something like that motivates you, that lights that fire under your ass, and that makes you feel good about yourself. Christina says, hi Kaylie, I usually try to write down my goals weekly, or if I don't get a chance to write it down, I at least save these goals in my head and repeat them constantly in my head until it happens. And that's a great one. Is sometimes I'll be doing something, I'm like, I didn't write my goals out, that I'll just kind of do like a mental check, and I'm like, okay, well, in January, at the start of January, I wrote down goals that I wanted to accomplish each week. And I didn't make them super crazy, but it was that I wanted to work out, for the most part, a minimum of 4 days a week, that I wanted to listen to 2 to 3 podcasts, that I wanted to try 2 new recipes a month. And so there aren't things that are crazy unattainable. And now that I've kind of gotten into the habit of them, it's a habit for me. It's no longer a goal that I have. It's a part of my life, which is pretty awesome because now I can focus on other goals that I've gotten that mastered. Cheat meals, meaning my takeout. My tribe is Royally Fit online. It gives us all the support we need and more. Yeah, April, I couldn't agree more. And you're one of the biggest supporters of everyone on that group. And it's your positive attitude and your motivation is so infectious for all the girls. And it's hard to explain to the people that aren't a member of Royally Fit to know, but that sense of community that we have with all these women that I mostly have never met is unbelievable. Sherry says, oh, my screen keeps going black. Sorry. We should have a meetup night for Royally Fit. I absolutely agree. We do events from time to time. Obviously, it's hard because not everybody is from the Durham region, but for those that are local, we do try to do something, especially around like Christmas time. So I agree with you 100%. And anybody that, you don't have to be a part of Royally Fit. Like you could start your own little group where the 3 or 4 of you go for a walk, like I said earlier. But it's just finding those people that support you. Having that support is unbelievable. And I'm really, really blessed because my boyfriend is incredibly supportive of everything that I do. And I don't know what I would do if he wasn't. He encouraged me to go back to school. He encourages me every single day to keep pushing. And I'm very, very grateful. And having that support makes it that much easier for me. Okay, so just to reiterate, point number 1 was knowledge, acquiring the knowledge. 2 was practicing that knowledge. 3 is setting goals, small, big, measurable goals with an action plan. And 4 is finding your tribe that makes you feel unstoppable. Okay, time for me to take a sip. Tip number 5, and it can sound a little cheesy and some of you might roll your eyes, but it is self-love. Ashley and I were having a conversation today. She came over and I said, do you want to sit down with me and help me prep my Facebook Live tonight? I want to talk about motivation and I'd like to kind of hear your 2 cents on it. And one of the things we talked about was self-love. And you can work out 6 days a week. You can eat perfectly clean. But if you're not doing that because you love yourself, at some point, you're going to stop. If you're doing that because you hate yourself and you think that working out and eating clean is punishment because you hate your body, at some point you're going to crack and you're not going to be able to move forward. So before anything else, the most important thing is to first love yourself. And to love yourself is to nourish yourself with good foods. It's to move your body. Your body is meant to move. It's not meant to sit still and to feel bad and achy and to feel weak and lethargic. That is not what we were made to do. The fact that we are alive is a miracle in itself. So you can't waste your time thinking, I'm not enough. I am not worthy. I am not good enough. Well, guess what? I'm not a religious person, but I do believe that God doesn't make any mistakes. You were born with purpose. You were born to be badass. You were born to be great. And your body is an extension of that. And when you feed yourself well and you take care of yourself and you practice self-love, you will become unstoppable. There is nothing that you can't do. And I promise you guys, 5 years ago, I did not feel this way. I was extremely negative. I was extremely down on myself. I did work out to punish myself. I did eat a low calorie diet filled of low calorie Franken foods to punish myself. And I thought, if I don't look pretty and I don't look fit, then what am I? What else do I have to offer? And I felt that way for a really long time. And it's been the last 3 or 4 years, the journey that I have been on is unbelievable. I went through a lot of changes. Like I said, I moved, I went back to school. Like, my life now from 5 years ago is a completely different life. And I've learned so much. And there's times I think about it, I'm like, man, 5 years ago, like, I wish I knew then what I know now. But then I think, I'm going to be saying that same thing in 5 years. My intention is to never stop growing. I'm only going to be a bigger and better version of myself. And I hope that I look back and laugh about how naive I was. So that's kind of my goal there. April says, I also blog about it and keep it honest. Yes, you do. We need to remember that we are human. I also think we need to believe in ourselves. That is the key to success. 100%. People put so much pressure on themselves. And that's kind of one of the reasons why, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll show you when I'm eating not clean. I'm like, I'm drinking my wine, I'm eating my pizza, because life is short and you need to indulge, and you shouldn't feel horrible when you indulge. I used to, and Ashley was the same. If I had a night when I had pizza for dinner and I had wine, I would be on that treadmill the next day running. I hate running and be thinking, I didn't burn enough calories. I hate myself. Why would I do this? And it was this vicious cycle where now, when I have my pizza night, I look forward to it. I love it. And I think, oh my God, I've worked so hard. I've eaten so clean. And now I get to enjoy this pizza. And guess what? Tomorrow I'll go back to eating clean. And I'll go back to being the way that I normally am. But you have to live your life. Life is way too short, and you are never going to succeed if you don't get to enjoy in the small things. So don't be so hard on yourself. You're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. None of us are going to be perfect. And if we're all perfect, how fucking boring would that be? Okay, it's our imperfections that make us unique, that make us who we are. Sorry, I get off on these tangents sometimes. Angela, wow, you are so positive. Oh, thank you, Donna. I'm working on it. Agreed. I also think it's, to be successful and stay motivated, you have to get to a place where you're happy where you are at your fitness journey. Yes, a bit of healthy competition, but remembering you may not be the other people either. Injury body. Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that I struggled with too, is that I would get competitive and I'd be comparing. Comparisonitis is deadly. It can crush your spirits in a matter of seconds when you're feeling good about yourself. So just, yes, know that. And I always say that to people that join like fitness classes that I've taught, that, there's always the new people that come in and they're really timid and they're shy and they're kind of embarrassed. And I say, we all started somewhere. At one point, we all had to learn how to do push-ups. We all had to learn how to do a burpee. We all had to learn how to do a squat. And when you see people that are doing better than you, think to yourself, I want to get there and I can get there. Or, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to get there, but that's not my story and that's not my journey and that's not my purpose. And then we see Melissa says, heart face. And then your best Instagram story ever was you ordering the Pizza Hut. Yeah. Oh man, that was some real good pizza. And I didn't feel guilty about it, where 3 years ago I would have. And I'm so happy that I've come to a place. And again, I'm not perfect. Of course, I have days I beat myself up. But overall, I'm so happy that I got to that place. And it took me a long time. And like I said, I'm still working on it. Tip number... Do I want to talk any more about self-love? I don't think so. I think let's get there. Tip number 6 is try something new. So I've been a little bit quiet about this, and I think this might be the first time that I've actually talked about this publicly, but the last year I've actually been really struggling with motivation. I've just felt like with my working out, I felt a little bit stuck. I felt really bored. I was going to Good Life, and I would do a bunch of, YouTube workouts or plan my own. Basically, as a trainer, I don't want to plan my own workouts. I want to be trained. I want to be pushed. The same way that I push my clients and I motivate them, I want that feeling back. So I'd be doing my workouts and I'd just be like, oh, is this over? I'd kind of do the bare minimum to keep me in shape, but I just wasn't feeling excited and I was dreading them. And I thought, this isn't good. I'm supposed to be motivating you guys to work out. And when I'm feeling unmotivated and I don't have the desire, something's got to change. And I knew something needed to change. and I wasn't really sure exactly what to do. And I, to be honest, felt a little bit nervous because I wanted to join a new gym. I was intimidated to go in because there's an expectation that as a trainer, I should be in really good shape, that I should be a pro, that my form should always be perfect. And it's not. I struggle with things. And I actually just this last month did join a new gym. It's a gym in Whitby and it's called Are You Game? And those last 30 days there have been, I can't even put into words how much it's changed me for the better again. I no longer feel stuck. I no longer feel bored. I feel inspired and energized and excited and motivated to do my workouts again, to the point where I'm so fucking excited to go. And I get my ass kicked, and I am not the best in the class, and I don't have perfect form because they're using all this machinery and equipment that I've never used before. It's very humbling, but it's also motivated the hell out of me. And it's helped me mentally. I just feel like I have this weight lifted off my shoulders, and then I'm becoming me again. And not only that, but I find that I'm coming up with great ideas for my clients for workouts, that it's giving me whole new routines and moves, and it's teaching me things that I was never doing. So I'm not only becoming a better version of me in my everyday life, but I'm becoming a way better trainer. And I'm getting new ideas for the Royally Fit Online workouts. And I took the time to invest in myself. Where at that point, a lot of people would stop working out and they would start to kind of pull away and think, it's not for me. So what you need to do is you need to try something new. If you're feeling bored, get out of your comfort zone and try something completely new. And that leads into my bonus point. I said it was 6 points, but I actually have 7 points. My bonus point is find something that you love. People think with working out that it has to suck. They think they either have to be running on the treadmill, they have to be doing squats, that they need to be in the gym, lifting weights, and doing something that's boring to them. That is not the case. You can find fitness in so many different ways. You could join a dance class. You could start a walking group within your community. You could go and, actually I wrote a couple things out so I don't have to think about it. Well, here's one. Pound. Pound is a great one. So you guys know I'm a pound instructor, and for all the girls that do pound with me, it is the most fun workout. The girls are so motivated. It makes me motivated, and the class flies by. It's women having a blast together, being a little bit silly, getting out of their comfort zone, doing things that might be embarrassing, but they don't care. They're just there to have a good time. So working out doesn't have to be a drag, okay? It's something that can be incredible, and it doesn't have to be a cookie cutter workout. That's why with my clients, I give them a different workout every week. I'm not one of those instructors that's like, we're going to do the exact same workout for 6 weeks and then we're going to switch to a new workout. No, I give them different workouts every time. And one day it might be a lot of cardio. The next day it might be a lot of strength. The next day it might be something a little bit more fun. Variety is the key. If you're just like eating, if you're eating the same thing and you're doing the same workout, one, boring, like ew, why would you stay motivated when it's boring like that? And two, you're not going to see those changes in your body. So for me, working out, I always want to do something different. So sometimes I want to do a spin class. Sometimes I just want to go for a walk. Sometimes I want to do some yoga. Sometimes I want to do some really intense HIIT training, get my heart pounding. So you really got to try to find something that you love. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be the cliche classic workouts. Get outside of your comfort zone, go try new classes until you find something that works for you. And you just have to accept that you're going to feel a little silly sometimes when you try something new. You might be the odd one out when you go to a new class. When I joined this new gym, my very first day that I went there, they had a partner workout. And I was new and there was uneven numbers, so I was the dork that didn't have a partner. And I was like, oh my God, this is exactly why I didn't want to join a new gym. Like, I'm the dorky one hanging out by herself. But I made a point. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to introduce myself to somebody new every single time I go to the gym. I'm going to make a point to get their name. I'm going to make a point to shake their hand, to tell them that I'm new, to tell them that, you know, I might need some help with the machines or help with the moves. And it's kind of crazy how when you just step out of your comfort zone and you make yourself vulnerable like that, how much people actually do want to help you. I've had countless people there say, oh my gosh, I remember when I first joined and it was super overwhelming and scary. Let me show you how this is done. And finding something like that, finding your tribe, I can't even explain it. I can't honestly even explain it. And I feel like just so happy and so grateful that I was brave, because for a long time, I was way too scared to do things like that. And it's hard walking in by yourself, but I promise you, after a few sessions of feeling awkward and uncomfortable, it's going to change. So those are my 7 points. I do just want to quickly run through them again with you guys one more time. I miss your pound class. It motivated me to work out harder. I know, I really miss it too. Pound style workouts for RF Online. Unfortunately, Brooke, we actually can't. They have way too tight of regulations, like legality issues, that we're not allowed to do that. Otherwise, I would be sending them to you guys all the time. So unfortunately, that's not an option. So again, just to go over the 7 tips to help keep you motivated. And while I'm ringing through these, please guys, share some things again that help keep you motivated, or if you have any questions for me before I wrap up, okay? So number 1 is knowledge. Learning as much as you can about your health and wellness is going to keep you on track. And then tip number 2 is applying that knowledge. So you know that whole saying, if you don't use it, you lose it? Use it. Take that knowledge that you're acquiring and put it into your life. Tip number 3 is setting goals. Big goals, small goals, an action plan to get there, and making sure that you check in. And if you don't meet your goal, it doesn't mean give up. It means it's another chance for you to try again. One of the things I remember hearing, and I don't know the exact wording, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, is that the people that are most successful in life were just willing to fail a lot more often. Do you think that the very first time, I can't even think of an example, but like an NBA player, I guess I could use the one that everyone always talks about, of Michael Jordan being cut from his high school basketball team, where a lot of people, if something like that happens and they're embarrassed and they didn't make the team, or they didn't this or they didn't that they're like, they just pull away. Or if they had a business plan and it didn't work, or they had an idea and it didn't work, or they got fired from a job, or they applied for a job and they didn't get hired, and they just pull back and think, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. With every time that you fail, you've learned something and you're prepared to try again. So if you failed 10 times, you've learned 10 new lessons and you're ready for time 11. Because at some point, you're going to stop failing and you're going to succeed. Tip number 4 is to find your tribe. To find people that think like you, that are like-minded like you. And, accountability partners. Finding a buddy to go to the gym with, or somebody to go for a walk with, like you said. Tip number 5 is practicing self-love. You will not be successful with health and wellness until you start to learn to love yourself. And my way of doing that is I've been reading tons of books and listening to tons of podcasts about self-love. One of my favorite podcasts I share with you guys all the time is called Earn Your Happy. It's by Lori Harder. It is incredible. The You Are a Badass book by Jen Sincero is an incredible book to get you started on your journey of self-love. The next one is to try something new. Get out of your comfort zone, try something new. And finally is to find something that you love. If you can find something that you love, it makes it a lot easier. And I'm so grateful that I learned to love health and wellness. I mean, really, it's a really good thing to fall in love with nutrition and working out, right? And because I love it, I want to share that love with you guys, and I want to give you all of the knowledge and everything that I can to make you the most badass, best versions of yourselves. I see a lot of comments coming through, and this makes me very happy. Fail, first attempt in learning. April, yes, exactly, 100%. Christina, yes. Though not fitness related, I have said before, I have anxiety, and I went out of my comfort zone doing something new and read my poetry in front of complete strangers, had amazing feedback and encouragement to keep me going with it. It made a huge impact in my confidence and writing skills. Yes, exactly. It doesn't have to be fitness related or health related. I mean, being motivated, this is just what motivates me. And maybe your motivation is, like you said, writing, or it is like, writing music and performing live in front of somebody. Like it could be anything. And all of these tips can help with whatever it is that you're trying to be motivated with. And just said, love that, April. I'm going to use that with my students. Haven't heard that one before. Yes, it's a good one for the students, totally. Self-love is something I need to work on, beating myself up lately, but you guys always help me refocus. Daniela, I get it. I was my own worst enemy for a long time, and I think about the negative self-talk that I would say to myself. And, one of the things from Jen Sincero's Badass book, and I don't remember the exact order, but it was that your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become your habits. So when you're thinking to yourself, like, I am stupid, I am not worthy, I am fat, I am a loser, why can I not do this when other people seem to have it? Then all of a sudden, when you start thinking that, you start to believe it. And the more you say it and the more you believe it, the more it's going to come into your life, and all of a sudden you're acting like you're a failure, when you should be acting like you're a badass rock star, because you are, and you're just on a journey of figuring out how to get there. And one of the coolest things about it is when you now have the opportunity to learn self-love, and it's a very exciting thing, Daniela. And I promise you, the more you start to get into it, you'll think, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner, because Life is so much more joyful and gleeful when you start to realize that you're fucking fantastic and you are an individual and you are a badass and that you were made for greatness. We all were made for greatness. And yeah, there's things that we struggle at. But again, without struggle, you wouldn't have the success and you wouldn't have the appreciation for the success that you do have. So true. Thanks. I need to reread that book, especially at that point. Yes, it is a really great book. I think that's everything, guys. If you have any last minute questions, chime in. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope some of these tips helped with your motivation. Yeah, that's everything, guys. I will see you next week and we will chat soon. Okay, bye.